Hi, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how I do my homeschool planning. So my main tool is GoodNotes here on my iPad. So I made this little spreadsheet in Google Sheets, printed it as a PDF, and then I was able to load it in as a template. That way I can just write on it every week. So I can just write. And then the next week I can just erase it. Or things that we do all the time, I can just leave them on there. If we're not doing a subject at a time, I can put an X. So I really like this. It feels easier to me than writing it on a piece of paper and then having to erase or recopy things. Plus I like this because I can easily take it on the go or even open it in another device if I need to. I only do my planning about a week in advance. I might have a general idea of some themes we're gonna do, but in general, I like to Sunday night just kind of flip open the math book, see where we need to go for the next week. I find if I plan too far ahead and then things come up, it's just hard to feel like, oh, now we're behind. If I just plan a week ahead, I don't get that feeling, and we feel more free to take days off if we need it, or go on a field trip, or whatever might come up. So that's my main tool. The other tool I use is more for my kids, and that is one of these little whiteboards. So I started using this because my oldest would get very whiny every time I would bring out another subject. So it really helps her to just sort of know ahead of time everything she's going to be doing that day. And oftentimes I use this as well, day of, just the night before, or sometimes the morning of. I just go through and write everything out. I do color code it by subject. I started doing this before my oldest could really read, and my youngest, who's joining us this year in homeschooling, still doesn't quite read. So it works really well. If you have, math in a color, phonics in a color, it can help them figure out what's going on a little more easily. So the trick with these though is you need wet erase markers. So if you use a regular dry erase marker, which for some reason mine doesn't want to work very well today. So if you use the dry erase markers, you know what can happen to these. They erase really easily, which is why we sometimes love them. But when you spend all this time writing this out and your kid accidentally rubs against this, or you accidentally rub against it, all that you wrote can easily be wiped away, and that can be super frustrating. If you use the wet erase, now this isn't going to be as dry as some of these, but you can see these do not come off. Even this dries pretty quickly. So if you rub against it, everything you wrote is not going to be erased, and then all it takes is a rag and some whiteboard cleaner to clear it off for the next day. So those are the tools I use. I hope this might help you with your homeschool planning. Feel free to drop your favorite homeschool planning tool or idea below, and follow my channel if you like homeschool content or kids, craft, and activity ideas. Happy homeschooling!